friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Em. Apologies for the lighting situation, but it is officially gray and cloudy season in the Pacific Northwest, so the lighting is just gonna be iffy for the next like 6 months. I'm a little upset about it, but probably not as upset about it as I should be. I don't know. I'm really leaning into my love of the rain and the gray this season. We'll see how long it takes before the seasonal depression kicks in, but for right now, it's not here and I'm living my best life. We're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about this weekly reading vlog and week 3 of Clear Your Shit. And if you are familiar with Clearursht, it is a storied readathon that lasts through November and December where the goal is to read down your physical TBR. This is my 3rd year participating. I love it so much. It's like the perfect blend of structured and loosey-goosey. So there are 3 prompts that are released every week, but how you fill those prompts is pretty up in the air. It's pretty vague. And of course, you can always stretch the prompts. Like there's a lot of wiggle room. The only rule is that because the goal is to read down your physical TBR, you can't buy a book in order to fulfill the prompt. The prompts have been released for this week. It's Saturday, and there's always a couple prompts every year where you have options. So I'll just put it up on the screen because I think that'll be easier than me trying to explain it. So these are the prompts, and then these are the things that you would use to pick your book. None of these actually fit for me, so I decided just to go rogue and pick something off of my TBR that I've been really wanting to read and has been on a TBR a time or two so that I would pick it up. I decided to pick up Hazelthorn by C.G. Giroux. This is one of my most highly anticipated releases for this year. I read Don't Let the Forest In earlier and gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I read it in a day, and I'm really hoping for a similar experience with Hazelthorn. I've heard some mixed reviews, but honestly, the people that have not loved this don't align with my book tastes very often, so I'm still pretty confident that I am really going to enjoy this. Now, on top of the regular Clear Your Shit prompts, we're going to add an extra layer to this vlog. This is also going to be a swapping screen time for reading time week because my phone using time has gotten out of control, and it's been out of control for a little bit, and I've just kind of been in denial about it, but I can't be in denial anymore. I have to do something to counteract how often I am picking up my phone. But instead of doing the hours on my phone for hours read, because I don't have time this next week to read that much, we're gonna do reading the same number of pages as the number of times that I've picked up my phone. I hope that made sense. And I even like wrote them down in my planner because I didn't want to be picking up my phone to check how many times I picked up my phone. That just seemed counterintuitive. Last Saturday, I picked up my phone 146 times. Y'all, that's not even the highest number we have in this next week. It's bad. It's bad. So I'm going to read 146 pages of Hazelthorn today, or at least I'm going to try. I think I can do it though. Don't Let the Forest In was a really fast read. From what I've heard, the writing style doesn't change between the 2 books, so I'm anticipating flying through this as well. We do have a really fun day planned today. Like I said, it's Saturday, and usually we are pretty homebody oriented. We all really like to stay at home on the weekends, but we're going to go out. We're going to go do something fun. We're going to drive into Portland. We're going to go to the PSU Farmers Market. We're going to spend time with family. It's not supposed to rain today, so I think it'll be a really good day. I'll bring you along for some of it, probably. And then when I get home, I'll cozy up and read. So yeah, welcome to the vlog. I'm really excited about this week and about doing the swapping screen time for reading time, even if I'm a little ashamed to be putting those numbers out on the internet, but it's okay. It's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun. It's hours later. Portland is great. I took barely any b-roll because I was focused on what was going on in real time, but it was lovely. And then came home, I lazed around for a little bit. I just got back from the gym and I've read 62 pages of Hazelthorn. I'm not as hooked immediately as I was with Don't Let the Forest In, but I'm still like intrigued I really love C.G. Drew's writing style, but we are at this manor called Hazelthorn somewhere in the world. I'm not quite sure where we are. It might be upstate New York, it could be England, who knows. And our main character is Evander, and Evander is in a really unusual situation. He's told he's very sick. He believes he's very sick and has been sick for a long time. He's basically locked in his room all the time. The door is only unlocked for meals and to bring him his medicine. And he's being raised by this old man who is not his grandfather but is his guardian since his parents died when he was younger. And it's all very like tragic, gothic, ward type situation. And then this man that has raised Evander has a grandson named Laurie, who is also an orphan. And Evander and Laurie are both 17. And you get a little bit of like an intro to Evander, and then there's one evening where his door is unlocked and then nobody comes in. And so Evander leaves and goes down to another room, and his guardian is there, and his guardian dies very suddenly. And the coroner says it's an aneurysm, but Evander is convinced that his guardian was murdered, and Evander has now inherited like this vast fortune, and everybody else in the family has been cut out. And that's kind of where I'm at. And so now it's just Evander and Laurie, two 17-year-olds, inexplicably left in this like gothic manor for a night until the stand-in guardian can arrive. And I know it's not a Secret Garden retelling, but it feels like a Secret Garden retelling, or at least heavily inspired by. The family who owns this house, their name is Lennox Hall, and Mary's name in A Secret Garden is Lennox. The way the garden is described in this book, and Evander's not supposed to go into the garden, and that feels very Secret Garden coded. Even the butler, whose name is Carrington, oh, I meant to look up what the butler's, no, what the housekeeper's name in The Secret Garden is. 98% certain the housekeeper in The Secret Garden's name starts with an M. Yeah, Mrs. Medlock. Okay, so that's not the same, but I don't know. It just feels very like Secret Garden coded, and Laurie and Evander feel very Mary and Colin coded. Obviously with the roles reversed, since Colin is the one who thinks he's sick, and Mary is the one that convinces him he's not. I'm pretty sure we're going to find out Evander is not actually sick, but I just haven't gotten there yet. Oh, and Laurie tried to kill Evander when they were like 10. Like tried to slice him in half with a shovel. And that's an important detail that I need to mention. And I don't think any of these are spoilers because you do find out a lot of this on the back, and then everything else is mentioned pretty quickly. So I'm interested where this mystery is going. I have like 80 more pages I need to read today to reach my goal. But yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know if I love the isolated setting. I mean, Don't Let the Forest In kind of had an isolated setting, but then they were also at school, so there were all these other people around. And right now, it's just Evander and Laurie, and their relationship feels off to me. Like not because they have a lot of baggage and it's kind of antagonistic. It's just, I don't know. There's something, I guess, clunky about the way they interact with each other so far, but I'm hoping that resolves and that I can really like fall into these two, because I am guessing that they are going to be romantic at some point. I'm guessing. We'll see if I'm right, but love the writing, love the atmosphere. Curious where we're going to go from here.
Why do sometimes, like, most of the time actually.
Good morning. It's Sunday. It's kind of early still, but I slept in this morning and I've just been sitting on the couch and watching Cozy K's weekend vlog, which is my favorite part of my like little weekend routine. But I, as you saw, reached past 146 yesterday. I got to 152, which is what I needed to get to finish the chapter, because y'all know I don't like to stop in the middle of a chapter. It's not a good time. And today I only need to read 71 pages, which is exciting, I think. So I won't quite finish this book today, but I'll definitely get pretty close. And I love that today is just like a little bit less intense before the more intense numbers start. And I am liking this. I was thinking while I was reading it last night, there are moments with Evander and Lori where I can see the dynamic I want in their relationship. Like there's flickers of it, but it's not quite reaching it. And Evander has amnesia about what happened prior to when they were 10 and Lori attacked him in the garden. So he remembers the attack, but he doesn't remember anything that happened right before the attack. So he doesn't remember why. He doesn't remember what their life was really like beforehand. And he's also like been so heavily medicated, and now that his guardian is dead, the housekeeper is gone, or the butler type person is gone, there's nobody who knows what medication Evander takes, and they just both took care of everything Evander could possibly want. So at 17, Evander doesn't know how to take care of himself at all. So he's kind of learning that too while soft launching this murder mystery investigation about how their guardian died. Evander obviously is like going through withdrawals from not getting the medication that he used to get every single day. And I don't know. So it feels like Evander's coming out from behind a fog, and it's rough being like, it's third person, but it's such close third person. We're only really getting Evander's thoughts and feelings, and that is hard because he doesn't feel like a very reliable narrator, not because he's actively lying to himself or to us, but just because he doesn't know so many things. And so we're not getting, like, as the reader, you're not able to get a whole lot of information about what is happening or what has happened because Evander just doesn't know. But every once in a while there's glimmers. Lori is so sarcastic and kind of caustic in his remarks, and I absolutely adore him. I like him so much, and I really want Evander to like go toe to toe with him. And every once in a while Evander will do it and I'll be like, yeah, and then he'll stop. It's so frustrating, but I'm really hoping that as I get closer to the halfway point, I'm like 46% of the way through, I'm hoping we'll get it. My pages for the day. I had to overshoot a little bit again because I needed to finish the chapter, so I read 74. No, I was supposed to read 74 pages, so I read 79 pages, and I don't think this is going to be a 5-star. I think it could be anywhere from a 4 to 4.5, depending on how it wraps up, which is still like a great rating. And I am finding that C.G. Drews is becoming a favorite author. I think they write, like, these main characters have so much more trauma and anxiety than I did as a teen, but very much like this describes how I felt on the inside as a teen, where I presented, like, I was very much a rule follower. I still am. Never met a rule I don't like to follow, and was outwardly like very bubbly and happy and lighthearted. I think I still do that, but internally as a teen, I felt like I was falling apart and that I was going to crawl out of my skin. And that is very much how the characters in their books are. Their main characters are so at ease in their bodies that they are ready to claw their skin off. They're ready to crawl out of their bodies for just a moment of peace. And I felt that way as a teen. And so this is really cathartic and relatable in a lot of ways. And I love the way they write, because even though both of their books are contemporary, they are set in a modern world. There are phones, there's technology. It is not explicitly stated that it's 2025, but it is contemporary. But their writing makes it feel historical in a way, and whether that's the gothic vibe or how romantic their writing is, I don't know, but there's just something that makes it feel historical even though it is contemporary. And I really love that. Like that writing, that really works for me. I really enjoy it. So I just got done at the gym, obviously. I have bad news though. I feel like I'm getting a cold. My middle kid has had a cold since Thursday, and I don't feel sick, but I have that like feeling at the back of my throat where like I'm not congested yet, but I can feel it coming. I don't have a sore throat yet, but I can feel it coming, and it's just not going to work for this week, so I don't know what to do about it. Like trying to figure out what like magic over-the-counter medicine I can go buy that will just like obliterate it. There is none. And I don't know if going to the gym was like the best choice, but it is the choice I made, and I don't feel worse. I don't feel better, but I don't feel worse, which is really like all I'm looking for when I go to the gym. Anyways, I've read my pages for the day, and I kind of want to keep going, but I also have another vlog I'm working on, so I'll probably switch to those books so that that vlog isn't totally ignored. And I just wanted to come in and make those comments about C.G. Drew's writing before I forgot that I wanted to say that. But I'm on page 226. I don't remember what my pages are for tomorrow. I know it's over 100. And this book is 355 pages. So like I could conceivably finish this book tomorrow, depending on what my numbers are like. But I'll talk to you tomorrow. Today has gotten off to a slightly different start than I thought it was going to be. I did not really sleep last night. I got a migraine kind of in the middle of the night and did not sleep for a long time. So called out of work, taken a nap, and still struggling. But I can yap. I can always yap. I could be 104 fever and I'm still yapping because that's just who I am as a person. So I have finished Hazelthorn. I read 128 pages so far. Like, that's how much I needed. Oh, okay, let's start over. Wait. I have to read 171 pages today. Good gravy, 171 pages. And Mondays are my busiest work day too, so I don't know how I was picking up my phone 171 times on Monday, but oh well, not the point, I guess. So I did wake up at my normal time this morning because I hadn't turned my phone off, or I hadn't turned my alarm off when I was having my migraine, and my alarm went off, and I knew I could either get up with my alarm and kind of be functional, or I could snooze and then be struggling to exist. So I got up with my alarm, I did my normal morning routine, decided to call out of work, got the kids ready for school, took them to school, came back and read some more while I waited to be sleepy enough to fall asleep. And then I slept. And now I made coffee and now I'm talking to you. If you wanted the play-by-play of the morning, there you go. So I finished Hazelthorn. I read 128 pages and I'm going to give it, I think, a 4.25. I really liked this. I really liked the ending. It took a turn I wasn't quite expecting. Like, I had some theories because there's a lot of secrets. Everybody has a lot of secrets in this book, and there's a lot of mysterious things happening. And I had some theories about what was actually going on with the garden and with Evander and with Laurie, and I was not right. And it went in a direction I didn't anticipate. But I really liked the direction C.G. Drew's decided to go in. And I just love the writing so much. It's so good. It just hits exactly the way I want it to hit. I'm really excited. They are doing their... Okay, sorry. Notification from one of the schools. What was I saying? I love the writing. I don't know. Oh, their adult horror debut is going to come out next year. And I'm really excited to see what they do in an adult space with the way they write, with the kind of characters they have, with the relationships that they write. I'm just so excited. And there were so many moments in this book. Like, I feel like as we went through, Laurie and Evander's relationship got more of a foothold, and I got more of those interactions that I was really looking for. And there were a couple times where Evander calls Laurie Lawrence, like when he's mad at him and he's trying to like be disparaging, and Laurie is like, "Don't Lawrence me." And every time it happened, I was like, it was just so good. Anyways, yeah, 4.25. I had a fun time. Obviously not like, I didn't have the same level of obsession as I had with Don't Let the Forest In, but that's okay. I still had a great time and I still really liked it. So I only need to read 43 more pages to hit 171, which honestly is fantastic. And I also get to pick a new book, which I'm really excited about. And I think I know which one I'm going to pick. I think I'm going to grab another arc, because my shelf of shame with my arcs is just like out of control and I need to whittle it down a little bit. And I think this book has just come out. Oh, it doesn't have the exact date. I'm pretty sure it's already out because it was supposed to come out in November, but I think it was early November. Anyways, I want to read I'll Find You Where the Timeline Ends. This is by Kylie Baker. This is her next YA fantasy. And doesn't this just look, I love this cover. I really grabbed it for the cover. I haven't read Kylie Baker yet. Bat Eater has been obviously on my radar since it came out, but I'm really intimidated to read that book. If it's even half as good as the cover is, it's going to be great. It says it's about a teen descendant of a Japanese dragon god must learn the truth about what happened to her missing sister while avoid falling for a handsome rogue agent and acclaimed author Kylie Baker's magical new YA romance. And I'll find you where the timeline ends. Like, that's a quote from Howl's Moving Castle. Right? I'm so excited. So I'm going to start this. I also have the audiobook because it was an ALC from Libro FM this month, last month. Anyways, I have the audiobook, and audiobook would be good because then I can just kind of lay down and like let the words will wash over me while I rest and maybe fall asleep again. We'll see. But anyways, I only need to read 43 pages of this, which should go by pretty quick. It would take me to chapter 4. 44 pages would take me to chapter 4. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to stop yapping. I got to go charge my battery. I'm going to rest and drink coffee and see if I can get my equilibrium back to normal. I have already had breakfast this morning, and I've had water, and I had tea first thing this morning. So this is the first cup of coffee. So I'm trying to make smart choices. Proof of my sleep deprivation. I forgot to say why I'm choosing this. The next prompt is to read a book with a magical element. Japanese dragon god. Definitely magical element. Okay. I should not go and teach this afternoon. I think is what I'm learning about the state I'm in. I probably shouldn't even be driving a car today. Luckily, books aren't heavy machinery. All right, it's the next day, and I obviously easily made it to page 44 of I'll Find You Where the Timeline Ends yesterday. And today I need to read 164 pages. So another lot of pages, and which will take me to page 207. So I woke up at mostly my usual time this morning and I read for a little bit, and I still have like 100 pages to go, which I don't know why this feels like it's reading slower. I've also been listening to it on audiobook, and the audio is fine, but I feel like the chapters take forever. So I'm actually curious if I could read this faster with my eyeballs than I can listen to it. So I might try to do that, but up till now I've been exclusively listening to it on audio. And then I'm 110 pages in and I'm liking it okay. I don't think I've told you anything about this though yet. So Mina is our main character, and she's 17, 16, and she's descended from a Japanese dragon god, and the descendants of this dragon god are guardians of time, and they travel through time in order to keep timelines from being messed with and to fix when people meddle with the timeline. And it's a big honor. Mina's in training. Her parents are both guardians of the timeline, and Mina's in training. Sorry. I'm feeling better. The congestion is making the brain fog like pretty brutal today. So explaining things is probably going to be a little rough. Also, I struggle with time travel books in general. Time travel makes my brain hurt. Mina and her parents have recently moved to Seoul in order to complete Mina's training, but Mina has discovered that she has a sister in another timeline, and her sister doesn't exist in this timeline. And so the descendants have done something to her sister, and there's corruption in the ranks. And then about the same time she realizes she has a sister that's missing, she meets this boy named Yujin, who is like a rogue agent, and he basically like finds her and it says, if you don't help me, then the world's gonna end in like 50 days or whatever it is. And so he basically kind of forces her into helping him to like free the descendants from corruption. And we're going from there. He just got introduced not too long ago, and so they're still getting to know each other. Mina is very in control. She wants to be successful, but she has a really narrow brackets for what being successful as a descendant looks like, and she just wants everything to go the way it's supposed to, and Yujin is not like that at all, and so he's definitely like kind of poking her out of her comfort zone, which is kind of fun. And he keeps teasing her, and I am interested in this mystery, but like I said, the time travel stuff, it's like I just can't. It hurts my brain. I don't usually enjoy time travel, but I always like stories about sisters. And so Mina looking for her sister, trying to save the timeline so that her sister exists in all the timelines. And then there's also like the really big fear of what is going to happen to her if anybody from the descended find out what she's doing, because they've shown us that the stakes are high. They will quickly kill people who they feel have disrupted the timeline or have tried to use it for personal gain. And so I feel like the stakes are really high, but then along with that, like, she also needs to pass calculus. And, it is struggling in school. And so we do get to see Mina in class struggling. And, like, there's this boy in her class that she has to get to like her for a mission reason. I don't quite remember what the reason is, but you're watching her try to like flirt with him and like get him to ask her out, but then I can tell like she and Yijin are gonna have feelings for each other, and it's just like kind of messy in a way that I'm really enjoying, like teenage mess, which is really fun. So I'm gonna keep reading because, like I said, I have like 97 more pages to go, and it's just about 2:00. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a reading sprint, not for very long because I do have to leave soon to pick my youngest up from school. But I'm gonna try and read a couple chapters physically and see if it goes by faster. Because for whatever reason, like the audiobook just feels really slow. Even sped up to 2.5 times speed, I feel like it's taking me longer to listen to a chapter than it should, because these chapters are not long, but it feels like they're taking a long time. Okay, I'm gonna go read and stop talking. I'm gonna be so super real with you right now. I got distracted on my phone for like 45 minutes. And so that was definitely like valuable reading time, and the reason why I was doing swapping screen time for reading time this week. But I have no excuses. I promise I will do better. I put my phone away. It's in another room, so I cannot easily access it. Hopefully that helps. And I'm recommitting recommitting to Kylie Baker. I'm gonna lock in. I have 25-ish more pages to read, and then I'll have hit the page goal. And I wish I was more excited about this. I'm not even sure why I'm not. Like, I don't know what I want to be different or how I want it to be different. I just know I could be more excited. I could be more swoony over the romance. I could be more interested in the plot and like the high stakes of the plot. I just feel like my buy-in should be bigger than it is, but it's fine. That's probably why I let my phone seduce me for 45 minutes. It's because overall it's kind of just fine. I'm so sorry to say, but I want to find out what happens. I'm gonna keep reading it. Also, I'm gonna finish it. I mean, yes, sunk cost fallacy and all that, but like at this point, I'm gonna finish it. But I just feel like I should be more excited, and I don't know why I'm not. I feel like I've lived a whole life and it's only 1:15. It's the longest morning. It was a good morning, but I got some news that at first I thought was going to be really bad and really stressful, and then like found out, okay, it's not as bad as I initially thought. It's fine actually, but I used up a lot of energy being stressed for like an hour. I also taught 3 classes. I had some admin work to do. It's just been a busy morning, but I do have reading progress because I did finish I'll Find You Where the Timeline Ends this morning before I left for work. I need to read 143 pages today. Oh, that's wrong. I did math wrong. Let me try that again. There we go. That's better. Okay. So I
need to read 143 pages. I read 81 pages this morning to finish this up. It did read a lot faster physically. I finished it physically reading. The audiobook is fine. It just felt like it took longer than it should have. I don't know how to explain it any other way. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it just felt like a really slow listen, even sped up. But I ended up giving this a 3.75. I eventually realized I didn't really buy the romance in this. And that is so much of the book that to not buy the romance is, I think that's a big deal. Yeah, I wasn't sold on these two characters as a couple. I also didn't really, it's not that I didn't like the main character. Saying I didn't like her feels mean. And it's not that I didn't like her. I just didn't love her, I think, the way that I should have. There was a lot of miscommunication in this book, and there were a lot of decisions that the main character made that felt at odds with what she said her goal was. And finding her sister was not as big of a plot point as I thought it was going to be based off of the synopsis. And I don't know. Time travel is a hard sell for me to begin with. And while I think Kylie Lee Baker does the time travel aspect well, I don't think I was as on board as I would have liked to be, or as I should have been. I don't know. It was fine. It's not bad. I think if you're looking for lighthearted, borderline cozy, like the stakes are high for the characters, but I was never stressed out, which is kind of like what my definition for my perfect brand of cozy fantasy is, where I want there to be stakes for the characters. Like, I want them to be invested and have buy-in, and there's real world consequences for them. But I, as the reader, want to be really content and safe and settled in the knowledge that nothing bad is actually going to happen to them and they're going to be fine. And I think that's what this did. So I think an interesting book to start with for reading Kylie Lee Baker, because in her acknowledgement, she's like, this is the lightest thing I've ever written. So I'm really interested now to read either her YA duology, which I know leans a lot darker, or finally get around to Bat Eater after talking about it for months and months and months. So I need to read 62 more pages, and I need to start another book. I need to see what the last prompt is this week for Clearursht, because I don't remember. I also need to go get my lunch out of the microwave because that went off. Okay, so the last prompt is to read a book with gold on the cover. All right, I'm going to go get my lunch and peruse my bookshelves, and then we'll be back. Do I have books with gold on the cover? Choices. I think the gold is debatable. I feel like the silhouette of the guys in this one, that's gold. The, I guess, rain in a land so wide looks gold or bronze. I don't know. You could probably make an argument either way. And then the trees on Kill the Beast are gold. I'm leaning towards these two. No offense to A Market of Dreams and Destiny, but I feel like picking an Aardvark book would be a good choice because I'm trying to not hoard my Aardvark book club books. And these are both books that I hauled this month, which are like my book club. My Aardvark books are my only hauls that I'm allowed during my book buying ban because I'm a rep for them, so I don't pay for them. So they don't count, even though they're taking up bookshelf space. But I do have a code down below. If you haven't tried out Aardvark and you want to, you can get your first book for $4, which is pretty cool. That's how I got sucked in, is I used somebody's code, and here I am a year and a half later. I don't know what I'm in the mood for, though. I haven't read Erin A. Craig yet. I soft DNF'd House of Salt and Sorrows, which is her 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, which is like one of my favorite fairy tales. Always intending to go back, and then I just kind of never made it back. I think this is her adult debut in a little town. I've heard very mixed things about this one. I think she's pretty similar to like Shea Earnshaw though, and I usually really enjoy Shea Earnshaw style books. And then Kill the Beast by Sarah Swift. This is a fantasy book, and I've only heard good things about this one. It's pitched as The Witcher meets Howl's Moving Castle. I also have both of these on audio. I wonder who does the audiobooks. That might help me make my decision. Cecily Bedner Schmidt does A Land So Wide. I don't know who that is. I don't know that I've listened to them narrate anything, though they do have, they've done a bunch of Brigid Kemmerer's books and the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. I haven't read any of those. And then Kill the Beast. Well, okay, never mind. I'm reading Kill the Beast. Moira Quirk does Kill the Beast. Moira Quirk is the narrator of the Locked Tomb trilogy that starts with Gideon the Ninth, and she's one of my favorite narrators of all time. She's perfection. I will not hear any Moira Quirk slander on this channel. All right. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to read Kill the Beast. Yay. Okay, this is great. I will touch back later. I'm so excited. What a great discovery. All right, I've read 40-ish pages of Kill the Beast. No, I think that's overestimating. 30. So I still have 22 pages to go. And I read for a little bit, and then I took a break to watch some BookTube. I was fine at work today, but I taught more than I did yesterday, and I'm definitely feeling how tired I am because of my cold from working, and just concentrating on a book seemed a little outside of the realm of possibilities. I am having the same problem with this audiobook that I had with I'll Find You Where the Timeline Ends, where I'm listening to the audiobook and the audiobook's fine, but it feels like it's taking me so long to listen to a chapter on audio. And so the fact that I'm feeling that way with Moira Quirk, who I love, tells me that I'm just not in like an audiobook mood right now, which is kind of a bummer because sometimes like that's how I get the majority of my reading done. But I really want to love this book, so I'm trying to I'm gonna have to be strategic in my decisions to read this in a way that makes it the most enjoyable. But we learn a lot in those first 30 pages. Hell, we learned a lot in the first 20 pages. Our main character is Lissa, and she is the butcher of this town, where she is basically like a strong person for hire to go and kill creatures. So at the beginning of this book, she has brought the head of a goblin to this wealthy man who put out a flyer saying, oh, if you kill this goblin for me, or is it a troll? Something like that. Yeah, the reward is this much. And she did it and then went to his office and they underpaid her what was on the flyer. And so she hunts down this guy to basically be like, nobody cheats me out of my coin. And you learn so much about her in that interaction and get a little bit of her backstory. This is a really great example of show, don't tell. Like, we learned so much about her, but just through her interactions with this wealthy guy, with some people who work in the kitchen of this tavern that she was at that knew her. We learned that her older brother passed away when she was young, and her father basically abandoned them when they were young and they lived on the street. Then her father's just gotten out of debtor prison, and he really wants to make amends with Lissa, but she is so angry and bitter and vengeful from the loss of her brother and just the life that she's led without anybody to protect her. And she lives like in between realms and goes back and forth. And so time moves very differently when she's like in this in-between realm, in between fairy or like the magical world and the real world. And so it's just her and her dog Brandy, and she's just very, I don't even know, she's just really great. I really like her. I mean, she's not great. She's very angry, and she's got definitely a hard shell, and just wants to be left alone. But I'm really excited to, watch her journey through this. We have learned about the beast a little bit. This is a fairy-made monster that she is going to be hunting down. It's also the beast that murdered her brother. So I'm really interested. I'm just now reading the synopsis. I definitely didn't read it beforehand because I usually do not read the synopsis. Oh, and she's been getting letters sent to her, basically her P.O. box, which she only accessed once a year because of the way the time works between where she lives and the real world. And so she's been getting these letters from this man who wants to hire her for something. So I think that's where we're going to go next, is she's going to go meet Aldrich, who is mentioned in the synopsis. Yeah, I like the writing. Like I said, I really love how we were shown like so many things about Lissa in such a short amount of time. And like, I really feel like I know her well at this point. She feels like a real person. So yeah, I have to go pick up my kiddo from choir shortly, but I'm going to try maybe read a chapter with my eyeballs and see how that goes. But I have, how many pages did I say I needed to read in this one? The brain fog is really starting to kick in. 62, so I'm about halfway there. I got 32 more pages to read. And then, I don't know if it's Wednesday, so I have 2 more days after today. So yeah, I think this will be the last video for this vlog, because I think it'll definitely take me until Friday to finish this. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna go and read, finish watching the booktube video that I'm on, drink water, take care of myself. I'm so sleepy though, but I'll talk to you later. Okay, we're doing a walk and talk because sorry, God, the gates of heaven, hello. I'm making dinner, trying to finish up making dinner, and I reached page 62. Jesus Christ, let me fix the lighting situation. This is what I hate about winter. Lights all over the place. Okay, I got to page 62 in Kill the Beast, and I'm still really liking it. I read a chapter, and then I listened to 2 chapters while I was making dinner. And Lissa, I'm not saying this just because Moira Quirk is the audiobook narrator, but she is giving Gideon the Ninth vibes. So if you like Gideon, if you like how brash and blunt and rude and scrappy and wonderful she is, but I think you'd like Lissa in Kill the Beast. I like the relationship that's being set up between her and Aldrich. I like that it's not going to be romantic. That's really nice, because gonna be honest, I need a fantasy where there's no romance. That's just what I need right now. Oh, you have smudges on you. Let me get that. So anyways, I reached page 62. We're really close right now. Sorry, this is a little chaotic. Maybe I shouldn't try to vlog while I'm also making dinner. Anyways, I'm liking it. I'm page 62. Now I gotta switch and I gotta go work on my library vlog while I gotta finish making dinner. No one's helping me. We're on my own. I am making, in case anybody cares about food, Korean barbecue beef bowls with kimchi. I impulsively grabbed this cookbook off of the new bookshelf at the library. I know we don't judge books based on how pretty the authors are, but I mean, she's so pretty. So this is what I'm making. I made a salad out of here for dinner last night, and it was pretty good. I have high hopes for this one. I really just am hoping the kimchi just blasts everything out of my sinus cavities. So on that note, bye. This is going to be a very quick morning check-in. I have to be at work in an hour. I'm going to go sit in a coffee shop and read. I woke up at my usual time this morning with the intent of getting a bunch of reading done because I have to read 154 pages today, and I fell back asleep on the couch, and so I only read 1 chapter, which was maybe 15 pages, maybe 20 pages, not a lot. I have like 2 days left with this challenge, today and tomorrow, and honestly, I'm feeling a little burnt out. Not that I'm not enjoying reading, because I am in the mood to read a lot, and I've been reading a ton because on top of reading for Clearursht, I've been reading for a different vlog, so I've been reading a lot, and I'm loving everything I'm reading, but having this set number of pages every day to read is no longer feeling fun. It's starting to feel like an extra thing on my to-do list, and with everything already being busy, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. So I'm glad this is almost over, but I do have to read 154 pages today. And the play that my teens have been rehearsing opens tonight, so I won't have the same amount of reading time in the evening that I've had the rest of this week. So I need to like lock in before work and after work, but before the youngest gets home from school. So fingers crossed I can focus hard, because I'm really like, my contrary nature is kicking in and I just don't want to be told what to do anymore, especially if I'm the one telling me what to do. It's a problem. I recognize that. But anyways, let's go get some coffee and do some reading. It's a little after 2 o'clock. I am not to my pages yet. I'm on page 166, but I had a thought real quick that I wanted to pop on and say before it flew out of my itty bitty brain. This is reminding me in some ways of Nettle and Bone, not plot wise, but in that the plot of this book isn't what I thought it was going to be based off the little bit of the synopsis that's on the dust jacket. Because Nettle and Bone starts out, like what it tells you on the flap is that main character, I've forgotten her name, has to complete like 3 impossible tasks. And she does, but that's like so very minor. Like that's right at the beginning. It's only like 20 pages. And then the rest of the plot is her trying to free her sister from this abusive marriage. And that's really the plot of the book. But I don't think, as far as my memory serves, that's not really on the dust jacket. And I would say I'm having the same thing with Kill the Beast, where so much of this book has been the two of them, Lissa and Aldrich, trying to get the supplies that they need in order to craft this sword that they'll need to kill the beast. And so that's been what we've been doing so far, is traveling around to these different places and gathering ingredients. And at page 166, we're still gathering ingredients, which is fine. It's just not what I thought the flow of the book was going to be. I do think this is really funny. I think if you like T. Kingfisher, you would probably like this. I think Sarah Swift has a similar sense of humor, not identical to T. Kingfisher, but similar, where it's kind of funny in parts. And I think the characters have a lot of depth, and it's also like T. Kingfisher, where it's funny, but there's also like some dark themes underneath everything. And I am liking Aldrich and Lissa's relationship. I am liking watching them grow to be friends and the way they're interacting with each other. Lissa's got a lot of walls that Aldrich is really trying to break down, and she's resisting. So I'm liking it. It's just not what I thought, based off of like the very minimal knowledge that I had going into the book.
This feels a little anticlimactic because it is Friday. It is the last day of this reading challenge. I am supposed to read 116 books today. However, this morning, I did finish Kill the Beast, and I only had 75 pages left. And so I'm going to call that good, because this is also the last prompt for Clearursht, and the new prompts don't come out until tomorrow. And I feel like that's enough. I feel very that'll do pig about this situation. But before we close out, let me give you some final thoughts about Kill the Beast. I ended up really liking this, like, so much. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I really wanted it to be a full 5-star, but there was just like a little bit in the middle, kind of around when I last talked to you yesterday, where I was bored. I'm sad to say. Like the journeying around to get the supplies got a little not repetitious, but just kind of boring. But that didn't last very long, and then it picked up, and I again loved the evolution of Lissa and Aldrich's friendship. If you are also looking for fantasy where there's no romance, especially when it just feels like there's a sea of very mediocre romantasy everywhere, it's so nice to have like a standalone fantasy. It leans a little bit more on the cozy side. I wouldn't say it's fully cozy, but a little bit more cozy. That just has this really lovely friendship. And the ending really locked it in to that 4.5 star. I was thinking it was just going to be a 4-star, but I cannot even tell you how much I liked the ending, how much I loved how this conflict with hunting down the beast and killing the beast was resolved. And I just think this is such a good debut. It's her debut. It's so good. I'm really excited. I love reading debuts and being swept away with them. I've read a couple that I've gotten from Aardvark in the last 1.5 years where I've just gone on to absolutely love the author. The other one that springs to mind, which actually if you liked this, you might like the other one. So I would say Dreadful by Caitlin Razakis. Caitlin Razakis has gone on to publish her sophomore book, which I didn't love, but I liked.
But I love Dreadful, and it kind of is the same, like a similar vibe where it's a little bit silly, it's kind of funny, but there's also like some darker themes going on in this book. So this was a debut that I really liked that I got from Aardvark. The other debut that I really liked, this author doesn't have any new books out yet, but this book is on the Goodreads Choice Awards in the debut category, and it's When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vita Kelly. And this is a historical romance with some fantasy, and there are more romantic elements in these books, so these definitely aren't like platonic love stories. They both have romances, but like very fun and very, very good, strong debuts, and I feel like this is a really strong debut as well. And I just think she did a lot of really great things with kind of playing with the genre and just having like really lovely things, really lovely characters. Like I said earlier, she did such a good job of showing us who these people are and trusting the reader to figure things out from the context that we were given. And I love when authors, like, I don't mind a heavy-handed theme, but I also appreciate when authors are like, hey, you are a smart cookie. You can figure this out. And I'm like, yes, I can. Thank you for that. I appreciate both. But I just absolutely love this. I did come back around on the audio and listened to most of it. Moira Clark is just such a good storyteller. She always makes listening a really enjoyable experience. So I had a great time with that. And I'm so glad I liked this. This was getting such good reviews. And if I had not liked it, it would have been so incredibly sad for me, like so sad, but I liked it a lot. That brings us to the end of this week of Clear Your Shit and the end of my little self-appointed reading challenge of swapping screen time for reading time. I will definitely read those leftover pages today because I'm gonna go back and keep working on my library vlog, and I'm currently reading Slewfoot. So I need to read like 100 pages of that today. So no worries. The pages will get done. I just won't be telling you about them in this vlog. But if you want to see my thoughts on Slewfoot, that library vlog should be the next video up after this one. I will try to remember to come back and link it in the description after that one goes live, but no promises. Thank you for watching and spending your precious time with me. I really appreciate it. If you want to leave an emoji to let me know that you were here, let's leave a dog emoji for Brandy, the bestest boy. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye!